Hey, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
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 Guys, please don't stop talking because I'm here. I'm only hosting and sharing a screen, and just if anybody wants to follow whatever it is you guys are talking about, I'll put it on screen. But yeah, I just logged in a few minutes ago, heard you guys talking, and then nobody talks anymore as soon as I get on. I'm not here with all the answers. I'm just sharing a screen. So anyway.
Yeah, I think people were looking forward to hear what you're saying more than what I'm saying.
People want to hear what you're saying. You were talking about I mean, you guys took some successful trades already. Somebody's already in a short, I think, in MES. I took MES long this morning and got the profit. We all trade differently and we all have different things to share. So it's not necessarily, it's not signals that we're offering. It's just, different strategies. So anyway, market's open. Good luck, everyone. I'm keeping the CVD on here because I like what I see. There's something that I wanted to point out that in post-market, wow, my watch is going off. This is all Google and everything that announced their earnings yesterday. They're all going off right now. That the market is live. Eli Lilly was could always look at that. LLY, massive move this morning. Microsoft, a lot of volatility with the oh, there's my alert on MNQ. A lot of volatility at the earnings. Huge spike up and then back down, and then it just settled right in the range where it was before, right? Meta had a big drop on positive earnings, right? What was it? $754 million surprise. I guess it was already priced in. It seems to be holding at a level right here. So that could be interesting. Big drop in MNQ. Wow. Big drop.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Whoever's short MES right now, this is a nice drop.
Hamza was short MES.
You were short MES?
Hamza,
yeah. Well, hopefully he's still in this position because that's a nice drop. So for me, not planning on doing anything in the first while anyway. I want to see what happens here. This is 2 minutes in, massive drop. Is it because Meta and Microsoft are dropping or have dropped? Don't know. What I was saying is that the CVD here was it's an interesting tool to start looking at, and I will start having it on my screen, and I'm going to watch Zach's presentation on it, and it might be an interesting tool to have in there.
One ticker that's buckling the trend is Hood. They had a big sell-off on earnings the other day, and word on the street is that Kathy, what's her face, ARK, up a bunch of shares yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because hi Evo, by the way. I'm not surprised because when I don't know when it was announced that the what's the rule in the States? The PDT rule was being removed. It spiked up. Not quite sure when it was, but it was probably right around here. With a lot of right around this area here. And now it's pulling back to this area. Yeah, I don't trade it, but yeah, if it can make it back to the highs here, that would be an amazing trade for whoever is piggybacking on Cathie Woods. So MNQ. So this was a very tight fib that I had on here. Right now we're selling. So even though we are in a 4-hour, what I usually do is look at the 4-hour. I can tell that we're in an uptrend. I can get rid of this. I'll get rid of those later. So on the 4-hour, we're in an uptrend, but now we're within, especially on the daily. We spiked up above, again, all-time highs in pre-market. Spiked up above here, but now we're rejecting here. So this is shaping up to be a very interesting daily candle. Obviously, it hasn't just started. So if it were to print as a rejection candle here, then I'd be worried that we are possibly pulling back. So we'll see what this this candle looks like at the end of the day. But this definitely is smelling like a liquidity sweep above. Right, there's a lot of trapped buyers up here if they're not out already. But don't get me wrong, it could just be pulling back for the further move up. So who knows? I wish I did.
I just exited my position on the MES. 7176 something.
Yeah. And you shorted from the top, right?
It was about 7207.
Yeah, nice. Awesome trade.
Looks like Hood is breaking out here.
Looks like what is?
It looks like Hood is making an attempt to break out around 72.25. I was going to jump in, but I'm not playing the 1-minute chart anymore. But it
Yeah.
was enticing. But I had the finger on the trigger, and I said, "Nah, I'll just wait on a higher time frame."
Well, it could be resistance at the, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking at making 20 cents, then yeah, there's definitely some room. But I'm sure everybody sees that yesterday's high here could be potential resistance.
Yeah.
So interesting area. A lot of back and forth. Let's say if I were to put a rectangle here, right around here. So it looks like it's breaking out here, but it could come back and retest. So if it were to come back and retest over here and then show a lot of buying again, because somebody like Cathie Wood, she cannot get into an entire position in one go because the price would just spike up. So they have to go in with measured buys. So they might be buying if in fact they are accumulating. They could be waiting down here for more orders. So that's the way I look at the break and retest. Right, we're breaking, and over the course of I don't know how long, come back and retest. Actually, I wouldn't mind it taking out yesterday's high, coming back here and retesting and then taking off.
Yeah, right around 73.58, I think, is the high. And
yesterday's high 73.28. Yeah.
And the price action was sort of in the middle, so not a great place for entry. A better place, like you say, would be towards the lows of yesterday, like right around 70, if it wants to retrace. When kind of maybe mid-session, but
yeah. And then we found buyers on Meta. No, not necessarily. Pre-market, and now it's pulling back, making new lows. Let's get rid of these. Clean up the chart a bit. MNQ. So on the 5-minute, it was pulling back. Be curious to see if it can make it down to pre-market low here. There we go. So if I were to draw fibs on here, I'd be going from pre-market low to where it reversed. It's pulled back now, right in this area. It's gone through the golden zone. Personally, the way that I would draw it now that the market's open, is to look at the 15-minute. I want to see where the 15-minute range goes and which side it breaks, a 15-minute or 30-minute. Yeah, either way, nothing seems to be, nothing seems to be holding here. So I just wait. Gold, I had an alert here, and it occurred as I was away from my computer, actually out of the house. So I wanted, but it just came down and just touched it right here. But that's where I was looking at going long on gold. Right there with a stop at the 61.8 and target 3. And right there is where it would have, had I been able to, there was no entry signal here. But if you're confident in the system, and you set a limit order with your automatic 61.8, this one would have worked again. And somebody might ask, why did I put my my fib right there? I put it there because that's where that was the most recent buy. Right, that was the most recent impulse move. Like it was obvious, and it worked. It worked before here too. I don't remember where I said it, but it was breaking out. No, it was right here, I think. But the most recent obvious impulse move with this massive candle here. So this is where it started, and then I stopped the fib at the high and extended it to the right, and this is where it came in and tested that level. So if we're truly buying still, this area could possibly hold. So it's a breakout and retesting this area. It could come all the way down to the 61.8 here, because we've already touched it. But we could also say that right now we look like we're selling. So if we were to reverse, this could be a further sell, especially that from the starting of the selling, there is definitely some room to the left. No. Exited too early, Amza. Yeah, but you know what? It could have. It could just be bouncing, and it could just. It's been a strong market, so you're never wrong in in setting a profit target and getting out at that target. It's impossible to catch the entire move. The way that I look at this is we're selling. So you took profit here. But if it retraces into this area and we see more selling, depending on volume, I can add my volume here. Right? And if it retraces and then we can't find buyers and it's actually a real sell-off, then we can get back in for another short. Right? Comments. Bonjour, Julien, Oli, les francophones dans le groupe. Bouncing off of PDC, I believe.
Hey, guys,
Hello.
were you born in France? You speak French quite well.
My first language is French.
Okay.
And no, I was not born in France. I was born in Northern Ontario, Canada. Very small French-speaking community. But being in Ontario, you learn English side by side with the language I spoke at home was always French. But television and media from the US and everything was always in English. So you grow up pretty fluently bilingual.
Nice. I mean, I can speak my parents' language, which is Gujarati, but
Which is what? Sorry?
Gujarati.
I've never heard that.
It's an Indian dialect.
Oh.
But my kids, they won't learn it at all. Even though we speak it at home, they just won't pick it up.
Yeah.
So it's weird. They understand it, but they can't speak it.
Yeah. Do they learn it at school? Do they get a chance to converse with anybody else?
No, not at school.
Yeah, that makes it difficult. Right? It makes it difficult to learn a language. My daughters go to a French school, but the language spoken at home is English. Because my wife is English. So at least they get the French from school. A little bit from me. I do speak French when it's just myself with my girls, but when my wife is around, we switch to English. A lot of changes happening with languages. We had this conversation. I had this conversation with a friend of mine over the weekend that we're with apps and you can put your AirPods in now. And I could have a conversation with you in your language. I could be speaking English. You could be speaking mine. And what I'm hearing in my ear is English. And what you're hearing in your ear is your language. I don't know. I don't know. In X amount of years, are we going to need more than a few languages? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll all have like an AI translator piece in our ears.
It's already there. Right, it's already it already exists. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we're headed. And I taught in I was a teacher for 29 years, I think, and I taught in a French school. So I was a math and business teacher, but en français. So nothing was done in English. Everything was done in French. But when it comes to trading, I wouldn't be able to talk about trading in French. All the terms, like everything I've done over the years, has always been in English. So anyway.
Yeah. Hey Tariq, you still in the show on gold?
Yeah, I'm still in.
Nice. I was looking at this as a rejection of the top. Didn't like that was right before. I don't like trading in the first half hour. I know I've said that many times, but this is a double, triple top here. So especially on the 5-minute, when you get a rejection candle at the top, as in a long wick like this, not the ideal rejection candle, but once we break the low of this wicky candle over here, and even at the open, we tried to make it up and then new lows. This would have been a good entry on the short for sure. Not quite sure what the target would be. I don't know what you're looking at. There's possible support here. right? We had touched it, and please don't let me influence whatever you're doing, because I'm just sharing what it is that I see here. So there was a resistance here, broke through it, came back down. This is on the 5-minute, came back down, and this resistance became support. So what will it do now? Right? I can imagine something's going to happen here. Will it be enough support to bring this back up to the highs? I don't know, but something will likely happen here.
Yeah, this is the part I was looking at, like 4620s. And if it fail, there's a strong support 4618 just from Asia session. And I'm trying something new here. I'm trying playing a bigger time frame, like the 1 hour. So the 1 hour been all the way up, and this is the first pullback. And these 4 candles, like the green, red, this is in Anna Cooling's book. So this is a kind of topping action. But we never know. I still have 1 contract more. Like, I'm not planning to hold it. I didn't have a good entry on this one, so.
The most difficult part of trading is, you know, knowing and having it be part of your system. That's why, I mean, one of the systems I trade is just +3 or -1. It takes all the guesswork out of it. On my personal account, though, I'm still not live in futures on my personal account. It'll be more what you're doing, you know, gauging, looking to see what is going to happen here. If it does break through here on my personal account, I'd be looking at the breakthrough and then the retest, and then I'd be adding to it, right? Because if it breaks through here, then it's definitely selling, and we could be making it down to the next level of possible support. But that's the hardest part of trading, I find, is and because emotions get involved, right? It's like you're seeing exactly. Here, you're seeing that you're in the green. Then once it starts retracing, it's like the market's taking money away from you.
Yeah, exactly, Jill. This is the worst part, because I'm trying to get my mind towards the idea of, like, okay, unrealized is not my money.
Yep.
But it's quite challenging, to be honest.
What I find helps in this situation is when you have multiple contracts, you can always get out, right? Get out a part of your position here. And then if it does break out and then retest, then you get back in, right? With the house's money. I just realized something on the computer. I'm recording, my volume's on, and somebody just walked in the house, so I'll be right back.
Did you re-enter, Hamza, on MES?
Most of the buying in the last few days was done around well, 7170 downwards. So I'd be more inclined to wait and see and get a long setup down here. But it's probably unlikely today. Looking at the size of that red candle, I'm not sure we're going to go anywhere for the rest of the day.
And the volume is big too.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you guys, which one are you talking about?
The MES.
MES, okay. Yeah, so Hamza, you're saying because of the initial 5-minute candle here, because it's a big candle, you're not expecting it to go back to the tops?
No, I'm on the 30-minute.
Oh.
I don't know if they'll go back to the top today, just looking at the amount of selling that's happened. I guess it's going to take a while. Maybe later on in the day, we'll find out if there's another move to be had.
Yeah, that is a big pullback. I don't know what's going on in equities. INTC I had on my screen yesterday, right at this moment right here. I don't know if you guys, right at this moment here. Yeah, right around here. Trump posted on Truth Social something about, he likes INTC and, he likes Intel. What a great company. So when I got that, I was actually at home. So I came to the computer and put it on screen and just was watching it. And yeah, sure enough, 95.50 to 98.50. That's a $3 move. Right from here. I didn't trade it. I come on. Okay, don't know why my drawing there is the drawing tool. So 3% move. 3% in an hour and a half. Not bad. I wonder which one of wonder if anybody had anybody traded this, anybody had access to that information. Everybody has access to it when he puts it out on Truth Social, but you can tell the volume went up too for after hours. That's quite the volume spike. So there's definitely people that trade the Donald Trump tweets. This is interesting here.
Looks like we got an ABCD information on Hood. Potentially, we had declining volume on the pullback. I was debating to get in on the close of the last red candle, put my stop just below VWAP, which I didn't. I guess I got a little chicken looking at the market, so I just decided to sit in the sideline.
Yeah, it's hard when you see, SPY and Qs pulling back like that. It's hard to go long.
Yeah, but if you look at the chart on Hood, it's exactly what I want to see. That it's such VWAP, you found some buyers there, and the volume profile of the last 5-minute candle was maybe just a little bit more than 50% the prior volume. So that tell me that selling is for the time being looks like it's exhausted. And yeah, it looks like right now we're gonna breach a high day here.
Evo, what time frame would you take an entry?
On a 5-minute, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And so yeah, I was considering an entry at the close of the last red candle about 72.44. The low is around 24 cents, so it's just below VWAP. I could have picked up a bunch of shares, kept my stop pretty tight, and then aim for a minimum of 3R, which I think would be doable at the high of session around 73.30. And just let it go because there's a lot of room to the left. But again, I don't know. I just didn't want to fight the market because the market's selling off right now. So I decided to sit on my hands.
Yeah, you had said 72.44 area.
Yeah, the entry would have been around 72.44. The stop around 72.24. The low of the 5-minute candle there.
Yeah.
And but my idea was to get in at the close of the red candle because the volume profile. I mean, the volume was probably I don't know, about 50%, maybe around 60% of the prior candle. So that would be enough for me to enter on a red candle to go long if the volume is that skewed compared to the prior candle. We've got a fib retracement hold here. And it's kind of a newsworthy event too.
Yeah, and right now it's at 3R. So That's hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, so you know,
But-
sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't even just look at the overall market. Just focus on
Yeah.
the chart of the one ticker you're on. Because I noticed that the other day with Intel too, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. You got to kind of limit how much you look at, but it's hard to take a trade long when everything's selling off.
Yeah. No, I get it. And there's different schools of thought. I like having the general market on my screen. I like knowing what's going on. Hang on a second. This is an interesting candle on SPY. If it were to close green up here, it'd be very interesting. But yeah, I like knowing what's going on in the market. However, I don't trade these anymore. You have to think. I mean, if there's news and people are actually buying into this, are they really affected about what's going on in the market? Maybe not. I don't trade trend lines, but I do like, my eyes are always going to see, okay, are we making higher lows here? And so that's why I put this here. Interesting. If we have a candle that closes above over here, this possibly could be a bottom. I'm going to leave the 5 minute there. FOMC seems to have been when was it? FOMC yesterday at 2 p.m. So we had a drop, we put in a double bottom, and then started buying from here. And this was earnings. I'm looking at SPY right now. So these were earnings on Microsoft, Meta, Google, I believe. Big spike up, pull back, and then strong. And then economic news, I didn't look at that this morning. I personally did, but I didn't put them on here. We had some pretty positive numbers this morning. So 3 stars core PCE came in around forecast, but the GDP was 2%, a little bit lower than forecast. And then the jobless numbers came in lower than forecast as well. So and then there's at, what was the other thing? Yeah, Chicago PMI coming in red, below forecast. Not quite sure what that's going to do to the general markets, especially the fact that FOMC we're changing governors or whatever his title is. Jerome Powell's done. Yeah, this candle on SPY here was very interesting for possible reversal. This is partly my kangaroo tail reversal strategy. I personally would not necessarily take this just because the body of the candle isn't within the body of the previous candle. Just shows that the sellers were still in control here. So having not taken this, if it does take off, then I will set fib and look to see if there's possibility of getting back in. And if I'm correct that it wasn't the right time to get in, then I'd be looking at the possibility of a double bottom, of it coming back down to this area and finding buyers. So that's what I'd be looking at in SPY. Do we see the same candle formations in MNQ? And look at this. This is the kangaroo tail that I talk about. There's room to the left on the 5 minute. Definitely room to the left. Goes near the top and then start taking off from there. So that's a long signal. I haven't traded the kangaroo tail in pre-market. There you go. There's a stop and right up to pre-market, or sorry, higher pre-market, 9-hour trade. Again, hindsight, is, you know, everybody be billionaires if we could do this live. But that is one of the setups that I really like trading. MES, right? Again, rejection candle, very similar to SPY, almost the same candle. This here, Microsoft down 4.9%.
NVIDIA is down significantly too. I'm really watching that one like a hawk as well. And actually, AMD looks like it's punching through here. But NVIDIA,
Wow.
be a nice long consideration. We'll see.
Right where it is right now could be a potential area of support. I'm going to put a rectangle because the zone is a little bit bigger. So, right, whoops. There we go. Right in this area here, right? Resistance, chopped around. We haven't tested this as support yet. So this could definitely be a place where a lot of buyers get in. Or it breaks down below and retests. So we could be making it down to these lows here. Right? This area right here.
I think that was the area that NVIDIA is closing in on is the former breakout area back about a week ago on the 24th. Right?
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly where it is right now.
Yeah. So very interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to go long once when my mouse is super slow all of a sudden. Hard to go long once we've really been selling, right? That's a lot of selling over here.
Yeah, the RSI is. I look at NVDL, so it's a 2x Granite Share ETF of NVIDIA, and the RSI is really low. If my numbers are right, I mean it's like under 7.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's under 7, man.
I don't know how to read RSI on a product like NVDL. I don't know if it reads differently. If anybody has something to share on that, please don't hesitate.
Wow, that's that's really low. And the MACD2 is really open right now. Big bright red candles to the downside. So,
just want to put my level on gold right now. So this is what I'm looking at on gold. The most recent move was the selling move, right? The impulse move is selling. This is where we found a bottom. This is a 50. So if I were very confident in my strategy, I would put, you know what, I'll do it because it's paper money. I would put a limit order at the 50. Right at the 50. Stop at the 61.8. Right there. And we'll hit sell. So theoretically, if we are selling and this is a pullback, it could pick up my limit order short, and it'll look like it did this morning too. On the long, I believe I should start documenting all the ones that I do in pre-market. But anyway, this would be the selling point right into the golden zone. On the live account, I'm not there yet. So on the live account, I would, the top step live account, it's really paper trading. I would do it with a market order, and only if a rejection goes into the golden zone. So anyway, that's gold right now. Tarek, don't know if you're still in after that pull. That right after that move there. It's a normal move. It's just it could be just coming back in. Right?
I'm still in and looking forward to add.
I'm sorry, I missed part of that.
I'm still in, looking forward to add.
There you go. Oh, this is on the 5 minute. This on the 5 minute. If I wish the candle had been a little bit longer, but if you zoom in, whoa, too much zooming in. Wow. If you zoom in here, you see that it took out the highs of the previous 5 minute candle here. All right, and then this one is printing as an indecision candle. But I personally, I would like it to come in and actually show that it's rejecting the this area here. But if it starts making new lows, then it might not retrace all the way to the 50. Right, breaking the low of that previous 5, but not moving. So we could be catching some shorts here. I'm going to leave this order here just for the fun of it. What is it? 10:10 already. What else?
Because also on the 1 hour, it's looking. It just tried to pull back to the low of the consolidation area,
Yeah,
and it just rejected. And gold, when it picks a direction, it just like it go.
if this 1 hour candle closes near the bottom and makes a new low, then this I would call a trendy kangaroo candle because the trend is going down. It tried to spike up, got rejected, and is continuing on the way down. Excuse me. I don't trade the 1 hour. I do like seeing that on the 5 minute. I've mentioned it before. I'll try to find one here. The trend is higher, like this candle right here. Right? It's not the ideal example because it's red, but the trend is going up. We have a pullback. Candle wick is 2/3 of the candle of the entire length. Had it closed green and made a new high right after, this would be considered a trendy kangaroo tail, which is a really good place for my setup. It's a good place to add into a position. I do not get into positions using this setup. So that's what I'm looking at over here. I mean, can we make it all the way in here into the 50 and then reject? But we could make it into, if we make new highs here and we find new buyers, we could be making it back to the high a day. Right? Hard to tell. I'm going to set an alert right over here. There you go. What's going on with oil? Oil was working nicely this morning as far as the fibs were concerned. On this pullback right here was one that I was looking at, and I did not take it. Looking forward to getting back and actually putting money on the table, but for now, just reading price action. Oil has been fantastic on these pullbacks. Going down, pulling back, rejecting, pulling back, rejecting. Every time it rejects, you see this massive candle. Right? Trying to make new highs. Nope, all the way down. This right now is pre-market low. Now we're making new highs, or possibly making new highs. So I'm not quite sure what it's going to do. The most recent drop started right around here. So this is where I'd set up a fib. And this zone here is where it was having a hard time with. Difficulty with it over here. Came down. Difficulty with it over here again. Did not close above the 61.8. So this is one I would still consider. Right? And it could be happening now. But if I had gotten in over here on a limit order, I would have been stopped out right here. Don't know if it would have made it to 3R before that. Right there. And right there. Oh, I take that back. I would not have been stopped out. It would have been a winner. Right? Most recent drop. Started buying. Started the fib. End of the fib. Golden zone. As soon as it touches the 50, limit order to short. Stop above the 61.8. Aim for 3R. And if you aim for 4 and 5 and 18R, then you would have been stopped out. That's why 3R for me, for the back testing and all the work that I've been doing with this, for this system, 3R works really well. So there you go. Just explaining what it is that I'm looking at in this system. And it's done it a couple times. And then if you do this with multiple accounts, 3R over 5 accounts, then it's 15R. But losing -1R on 5 accounts, then it's -5R, obviously. So you have to, it's -5R, but spread out on 5 different accounts. So if your R is $100, well, you've lost 100 on 5 different accounts. If they're $50,000 accounts, -100 in 5 accounts is no big deal.
Well, I'm still amazed at the sell-off on NVIDIA. It's really tanking. But this is the kind of trade where if you catch the bottom, there's a lot of room to the left.
There's yeah, and you know what? There's a lot of long-term buyers that are looking into getting into positions. So once we do find buyers, I would not be there. Nothing's changed with this company. You know what I mean? Fundamentally, nothing has changed. Is it too hyped up? Is AI too hyped up? Who knows? Right? But, was this all-time high here? I think it was, right? Usually shorting all-time highs it can backfire on you. But on this one, anybody shorted the top over here, it's quite the move.
You know what's kind of interesting is that the volume right now, we got the highest volume going on. Like a 5-minute chart candle. So either, I don't know, either that equates to we're going to continue another leg down, or I'm wondering if this could be potential selling exhaustion.
Yeah.
Huge volume going on.
Yeah, I see that.
Can you tell, Jill, like, what is selling exhaustion on a parabolic, kind of a straight line down? Do you know what that looks like?
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
Kind of like it's sort of like at the end of the selling frenzy, it just gets crazy. All these shares get exchanged, and we got the highest volume in the session going on right now.
Yeah.
Please.
Sorry, I should have let you finish with your question. But I just wanted to say that this, even though it's printing red, doesn't mean that it's selling. Right? So there could be some massive position building over here. This could be a lot of people buying, a lot of, it could be a massive buyer that were buying over here that are starting to build up their position again.
That's huge. Yeah.
But that, yeah, a lot of people call this the market middle finger, depending on.
Look
Right?
at I mean, look at the lower wick. There's definitely a lot of buying pressure there, but
Yeah.
should be closing in just about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look on the 1 minute chart to see if things want to change and turn around, if there's a potential entry for myself with a tight risk.
So this was breaking down, retesting, breaking down, retesting, breaking down, retesting. Right? Right now we are on the 1 minute, possibly retesting. Change of character would be above here, right? Above 202. But there's money to be made on this retest, going long and just, and just aiming for smaller moves. Meta tanks 10%, Alphabet climbs 5. Yeah, because they're talking about Meta was talking about their capex. This is what I mean. They had good earnings, but they're saying that the amount of money that they're going to be spending in moving forward apparently was more than what was expected. But again, fundamentally, nothing has really changed with this company. Not sure what this was. So NVIDIA. Yeah, a lot of it was on this candle right here. A lot of volume was on this 1 minute candle right here. So what does it mean? Is it somebody getting into a position? And you've heard the expression, not just you, but anybody listening, difficult to try to catch a falling knife. Right? So difficult to get into a position long on something that's gone down. How much?
I want to see if we get a retracement
5%.
into the wick section in the last 5 minute candle. If we kind of get a little bit of a pullback here, so that's why I'm looking at the 1 minute chart to see if we get an ABCD pattern in the 1 minute. We get a pullback. I could potentially entertain a long possibility here, but we'll see.
On the 1 minute, these wicks could be telling. Below 296, I no longer have time and sales on my screen. I don't know if anybody uses it with TradingView. But I'd be curious to see what the tape looks like at 20, like at the low of these two candles, which was 296 and 201 for this one. Well, now spiking up above. Not massive volume though. Right? Declining volume on these green candles here. So is this a pullback?
Actually, I think the volume looks pretty good in the 5 minute chart. The volume's kind of building up here. We still have another 2 minutes, and compare the prior candles, it's getting close to like matching them.
Yeah.
So not bad actually.
And above 201.96, above this candle, open and barely any wick here, will be an interesting area. But this zone here that we were looking, will it be support? Well, now I want to know, will it be resistance? Right? Will S6 be resistance for the further move down? All things to look at.
My plan ideally is that it forms a pivot low and then it rises, so we get a kind of essentially a bull flag under VWAP. We get a pull formation, it pulls back, and it's really kind of a trend continuation rather than trying to get in at the very bottom, trying to see where that trend is, which can be dicey. So I'd like to let it form the low and then ricochet, bounce off of that low. And then that's really my trade there, that I look for that pullback and to see what happens. Because now it's pretty risky to get in, because it's hard for me to tell. But
it looks like it wanted to print a green candle in the first green candle of the day, but it is struggling. Right. So this again, for it to be a trendy kangaroo, you'd want it to break the top of the previous candle. 20 seconds left. It seems to be wanting to close green.
But right now, if it closes green as an inverted hammer,
Yeah.
that's still good, but it tells me that there's still some selling pressure. So I need to wait
There you go. We've got
a little bit more. Yeah. But look at the volume. That's the volume of the last green 5-minute candle eclipses all the prior red selling volume, with the exception of that giant middle finger candle.
And you don't have the same volume as I do.
No, okay, I see. I got different. You want me to share mine, or it's okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll never say no to that. Yeah, on NVDL, you are correct. On NVDA, the volume is lower than all the previous red candles. So that's another thing. What do you look at, right? What's the underlying? Do you look at NVDA or NVDL volume?
I just stick with this instrument. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to share my screen. I know it's kind of weird.
Is that, yeah, that started last week.
Yeah, must be something on my end. I don't know.
Yeah,
But you get the idea.
Yeah, I was just going to say, look at what happens if you break the low of this candle, and it just spiked down. It's just the sellers seem to be in control still.
Yeah,
looking at price action right now, right? We tried to make it up, but as soon as it breached the low of this candle, which was 296, it dropped like 20 cents.
I think it's got a little more time to simmer. And like I said, I prefer to trade a trend continuation. So, if it forms the bottom, then we'll get a trend that forms back up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to catch it on the pullback of that trend and aim for VWAP and beyond.
Yeah. And reversals are difficult to capture, right? Because right now the bears are in control. So trying to get into a position where it flips, it's difficult. What I would look at now is, do we chop around in here, right? Do we try to make new highs and then later on come and make a double bottom and then see a lot of buying?
Yeah.
A lot of volume, a lot of buying getting onto the double bottom, then that's something that I would possibly get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, on NVIDIA right now, I'm glad you didn't go long. That's a scary candle right there.
Yeah, like I said, with that inverted hammer, no. But
yeah,
when I see like the highest volume being exchanged, whether the trend is down or the trend is going up, it could portend that the move is over soon. If you look at, I don't know, Wyckoff's, his model there, and it could represent the end of the selling climax, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen in the next minute or in the next 5 minutes, but it could be a road marker that it could potentially signal the end, but it just needs a little more time to simmer.
Yeah. Just looking at my limit order here on gold. Anybody's paying attention, we'll see if it gets triggered. Right? Limit order right at the 50. We were selling from pre-market. Started buying here, drew the fib, put a limit order. It's on paper trading. I do not trade this strategy live yet, but that is what I'm working on. Right? We're selling. I want to see, does it reject this area? If I were live trading, I'd want to see a wick get in there and form a trendy kangaroo tail. Trendy kangaroo, as in the trend is down, it spikes up and rejects, and then puts in a new low. So if I were taking it live, and I might after 10:30, I might look at this. But with the what I'm testing out here with the limit order is just sometimes it just spikes in there and doesn't give you an entry. So that's what I'm testing out with the limit order. What's going on with MCL? See how that was the selling. Yeah, that 3-hour trade would have worked over here. And then would have worked right there. But then, like I was saying earlier, it was chopping around this area. And so this might be giving a new entry. And I'm sure there's some people that were shorting this at the top for a long-term trade, because once it hits these highs, if things get rectified in the Middle East, this thing could absolutely tank. So not my strategy, but I'm sure there are people that short these stops and just are going to hold and hold, right? You know, hopefully we get things figured out, you know, and aim for, you know, back down to the 70s. I mean, we're in the 60s when this thing started.
Hope is a dangerous strategy in my book, man.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, right into here. So this is...
That's a recipe for bag holding and destroying one's account.
Yeah. Oh, if you do it with, you know, with one contract, you put your stop. I am not suggesting anybody do it, but if you do it with one contract and put your stop above, and at this point you could de-risk it because it has gone in your direction. And I'm just saying that there are people that will trade that way. And, you know, then you put your, and now you can start trailing your stop. Right? Well, with whatever contract size you can afford. But again, I'm just saying this is not the way that I trade. I do not like holding overnight, but I know people that will trade these patterns and will hold forever. Right? And they'll hold for, you know, that's let's say you shorted here. Let's say you shorted here with your stop above the high, right? And you aim for, you know, let's say 80. Right? That's a 23-hour trade. Yeah, again, not what I trade. Did not take out my my sell order yet. So, and it might just go down. If it makes a new low, then I would have to move my fib. And if it's a massive breakdown, then if it's like a really big impulse move, then I might move my fib to the new impulse sell. But I'll leave it on for now. And it is 10:30, so a little bit past 10:30. So I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for chatting with me, Evo and Tarek and everybody else. All right,
Cool.
good.